Millennium Tower owners, still reeling after learning the tower is sinking and tilting, now have something new to worry about.
NBC investigative reporter Jackson Vanderbecken tells us that there is a new concern, and that's a potential quake vulnerability hidden inside the walls of that 58-story tower.
How else would we know?
That's right.
Before Andrew Falk bought his 50th floor unit with his husband in 2011, the couple asked how the Millennium Tower would handle earthquakes.
We were assured that it was state-of-the-art and that it would do just fine.
It turns out that Millennium's assurance was made based on results from a relatively unsophisticated generation of computer modeling done back in 2005. But a more advanced method, commissioned by the developer 8 years later to account for Millennium's sinking and tilting, identifies a previously hidden problem. It's here with the mammoth blocks of steel-reinforced concrete known as outriggers. They are supposed to bind the tower's core to its outside walls and absorb the bending and twisting exerted in a major quake. But 8 of the tower's 12 outrigger blocks won't be up to the challenge, Millennium's own analysis shows.
It's not a good thing.
Bob B. is a UC Berkeley engineering professor emeritus. He has long analyzed what goes wrong in major infrastructure projects like the Millennium.
If they don't work, you're in deep doo-doo.
In a report to the city in January, Millennium's own veteran structural engineer, Ronald Hamburger, details the findings. Near the top of the building, he reports, the outriggers are about half as seismically resilient as they should be. And the next set down will be overtaxed by 20%. While not making any specific predictions, Hamburger ruled out collapse. At the same time, he warned that overstressed outriggers could break apart and suffer loss of strength. The building could be red tagged after the quake as a result, says veteran structural engineer Joe Maffei.
It's one of the drawbacks of an outrigger design. Outrigger designs are wonderful for wind. You have to be very careful with them for earthquakes.
Maffei says the question is just how severe a quake it would take to make the building a total loss.
He could figure out what level of earthquake he thinks is going to cause that red tag. And if I lived in the building, I would, for the cost of paying one of those fancy lawyers for a couple of days, you could probably get Ron to run that analysis.
Millennium says the building has been repeatedly evaluated and declared seismically safe. In a statement, they told us, quote, at every step of the way, the building has been determined to be safe for occupancy. Since before construction began in 2006, both the city and Millennium's experts have declared the building as code conforming. But we discovered that back in 2005, one of the outside consulting experts, Hardeep Panu, urged that the designers do the more sophisticated type of analysis for the outriggers to, quote, investigate performance of these important elements and bring factor of safety for them to a desirable level. The project's engineers said that was unnecessary, as the outriggers were designed based on well understood and well documented principles. B says owners should demand more information as they themselves assess the risk.
Would you tell the people that live there today how to move out?
Well, I can't tell people what to do. And here is getting back to you need to tell people what risks they are really facing. And at that point, let them make the decision.
We really don't know what to do.
Meanwhile, Millennium owners tell us they feel both angry and helpless, unable to sell or move because of all the troubles.
And we find out now, after we bought, that the place isn't safe. We're appalled.
Jackson Vanderbecken, NBC, Bay Area News.